tropical update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast.
WeatherScope. A stalled front sets up Gulf Coast states for another day of wet weather. We'll have that outlook and what parts of the nation have a chance for severe weather today. Those stories plus in-depth forecasts and analysis on this edition of WeatherScope.
Thanks for tuning in. Starting to become a busy day as storms are firing up in Orange County, New York, back to Sussex County, New Jersey.
That's right. We're just looking at some close-up visible satellite views behind us here, and very interesting detail on some of these when you can actually see these cumulus streets, lines of organized cumulus clouds developing with the prevailing wind flow. And then, you know, a lot of times it'll actually give you a really good hint as to where the storms are going to be popping in probably another couple of hours.
Yeah, and actually, just looking at those Q fields, too, there's some stuff extending all the way up into southern New England. So even Hartford, Springfield, the Connecticut Valley could also see some storms as we go on in time.
Yeah, and that's just one area where strong thunderstorms certainly could occur. And speaking of strong storms, how about Louisiana? Shreveport's been hit with some heavy rain. In fact, this morning, rain pushing on in. We've had reports over in Texas, East Texas, not too far actually from Shreveport, of 2 to 4 inches of rain since 6 this morning. We do have several flood warnings out. Folks who do live in Harrison, Gregg, Smith, and Wood counties in East Texas, some local flooding certainly still possible. Now there's your radar, and you can see the showers and thunderstorms continue to make their way across North Louisiana, almost running down the I-20 corridor. And local flooding is going to be a problem at times within this batch of rain-embedded storms. And don't be fooled thinking that you're okay down here to the south of the rain area right now, because eventually a lot of this will push some cooler air south, and that could act as a triggering mechanism for another cluster of storms. Notice also the stretch of rain from North Mississippi to North Georgia. There's a front located underneath all that, and you can see numerous showers and storms. And we're talking some very high water values in the atmosphere today across this region of the country, so easily an inch, and in some cases maybe 2 to close to 3 inches of rain in a few hours' time. Eventually, the heating of the day combined with the help of a bit of a sea breeze coming in from the west coast in Florida. It looks like our sea breeze will be pinned down a little bit here along the east coast because of the prevailing southwest flow of air here. That may hold it back from pushing inland like it might normally do when the winds are light. But eventually we'll start to see this area filling in with some scattered storms. And 1 or 2 of those actually could be quite intense. Now there's the front with the rain, North Georgia, Alabama. That'll hold the temps down today, no doubt about it. We can run up along that front into western New York. Just enough low-level moisture getting in ahead of the front, so showers and thunderstorms. And watch these storms develop and intensify very quickly in Sussex County, New Jersey. Also as you're heading up into Orange County in lower New York. the south end of the valley. Big thunderstorms here, and we'll probably see some very gusty winds and possibly some hail coming out of these storms. And we have additional development also occurring as you head up just northeast of the hills around come on now, Litchfield, northwest Connecticut, heading on up towards south central Massachusetts. There are the clouds. Sweep it on through. More thunderstorms. And then you can see almost kind of a layered look to the clouds in western New York and Pennsylvania. And we're looking pretty decent in Wisconsin after a cool night, some high pressure. But here comes the rain trucking on into Minnesota. In fact, from west to east, there's the rain getting closer to Minnesota, Minneapolis and St. Paul. And then it looks like new thunderstorms eventually start to develop on the tail end of this as we get into Nebraska. That'll be later this afternoon. We'll have you forecast in a moment. Right now, we'll turn it on back to Jim.
All right. Well, I do apologize, Declan, for not getting you the coffee this morning. And obviously, I should have got myself some as well. Let's go ahead and take you on out to San Diego, where that's the good news. The ones in LA County are still burning from last report, but they could, of course, be contained today. Got a little bit of a marine layer in there this morning, so that'll help at least keep the moisture on in, but that is expected to subside as we work our way into this afternoon. Be careful with what you do with cigarettes and matches. It's extremely dry out there, and I've actually been in Southern California and watched them light some of this chaparral brush, and it's amazing how hot it can get. It's just unbelievable. So there you go. A little bit of a marine layer this morning, but we do have some wildfires that are still burning away. Keep an eye out. Here's California, Nevada. Other than that, a pretty nice day. You can't really see it on this visible satellite imagery, but there is an old front still sitting back and through here. And this will be the focus for some scattered thunderstorm activity today across Utah, Colorado. And there's even enough of an upslope flow today to produce some thunderstorms along the Front Range. The storm in the upper levels that helped to produce the storms yesterday from Montana to Colorado, or helped enhance them, is now moving east, and that's what Declan was talking about. But look at this core of westerlies. Boom. A lot of activity for this time of the year. Pretty amazing. This is something you'd see in the fall and winter, actually. And this is getting ready to bang on into the northwest. It won't sink that far south, so don't worry about any kind of wet weather down there, even though it'd be kind of a nice change. But we will see it start to make things rather unsettled across the Pacific Northwest, and then eventually these weather systems will make their way across the Intermountain region. All right, 82 right now as we take you on in toward St. Louis, 73 up into Burlington, Vermont. 82 in New York, 84 in Boston, but there's pretty good juice here, so that's why we're seeing these storms. As a matter of fact, we just got another severe thunderstorm warning for Hampshire County up there in the Connecticut Valley, and perhaps Declan will show us that in a little bit, or we'll show you that on the tees at the end of the hour. 73 is dew point as we take you to Dallas, and 62 as we take you to Nashville. Down along the Gulf Coast, that's where most of the sunshine's been. That's where we have a lot of the moisture, so the high heat index is with us today. Here's the forecast. We'll watch more stormy weather through the northeast. Storms will continue to develop in the south. We'll also focus in on the severe. Here's that old front. There'll be some scattered thunderstorms along it and some upslope across eastern Wyoming and also Colorado. Here's Tuesday afternoon, the front coming into the northwest. This will just help to squeeze out even more moisture. Could see some pretty decent rains here in the Cascades with the kind of water vapor which is available to squeeze out here. So more than likely it'll be a tomorrow situation. And as we take you down to the southeast, our best chance at rain from Shreveport through Birmingham, even over toward Atlanta, Georgia, with very high water content and very little steering flow in the upper level. So that's going to allow those storms to just sit there and dump some pretty heavy rain.
All righty, in eastern Hampshire County, let's take a quick look at a radar, and you'll see these big thunderstorms developing in the Berkshires, pushing east. High winds already, some dime-sized hail reported.
All right, stay tuned. There'll be more active weather for you this afternoon. We promise that, and storms in the south. We got travel-wise to take a look at.
This year, you will find something you never thought possible.